Hello, everybody. Welcome, Drinks and Discussions. As always, I'm your host, Brian. Let me get our video and everything else working. Alongside me so far today, I have Flicky Jake, aka Liz, in the building. So let me do this first here, and then I'll get all of our other stuff going. Changing the screenshots, kind of stuff. Okay, there we go. Liz, say hello to all the peeps.
Good afternoon, everyone.
We got some watchers that are growing, and I have to apologize. I know Liz was waiting on me, and also um, some other people on the other uh, video that I was saying announcing that I was going live. Had to switch it over to the Discord, not from the YouTube live, and so also work stuff kind of prevented me from going like I wanted to. So I was a little delayed. Apologize to everyone for being a little tardy. So, having said that, Liz, how are you? How's your Friday?
It's like every other day when you're retired. Every day is Friday, which is
I,
nice.
I actually want to give credit where credit is due on a couple of things because I know you and I have done this on our Discord, but also there has been someone, if most of you may know, Hebrew, who's also doing something that we've been doing also on our Discord, and that is to have movie night or do some movies on Discord to bring our community together on YouTube. And hey, Salacious, how are you? And so if you don't know Hebrew, go check him out. He's going to be trying to do this starting, I believe, next Friday, and voting on the movie that they're going to watch, and then watching it on Friday. So again, that's Hebrew's channel. Hebrew, if you're watching, feel free to send me a link to your channel on Discord, and then I'll post it over here on the YouTube chat so that people know where to find you. And the reason I brought that up is because I was going to ask you if you've seen any good movies lately, because I know you and I watched Guardians of the Galaxy Part 3 together. And again, pleasantly surprised. You know, I am not a Guardians of the Galaxy fan, even though I like Marvel, but I was pleasantly surprised with Guardians of the Galaxy 3.
Yep, it's a great movie. The first one is still the best. Second one was pretty good. Third one was really good.
Uh-huh, uh-huh.
Um, Anybody that likes Marvel should watch them. Plus, they have Chris Pratt.
Mm. I watched it in spite of, but, it is what it
Yeah, well, that shows your taste.
is. But it was very, I enjoyed it. It was I thought it was better than the Thor movie. And Thor was trying to become more of that, have that comedic feel to it, that where you're laughing more than just all the action. So I
Exactly.
thought that was a little bit better in Guardians of the Galaxy than it was before. I invited a couple of other people. I'm just kind of just, bloviating a little bit just to kind of wait and see if are able to join. If you're on my Discord channel and you would like to join, please send me a message. Or if you're in chat and don't have a link to my Discord and you would like it, let me know in the chat as well. I am looking for as many opinions on this as I possibly can. And the reason I'm saying, and one reason I'm doing this also is because I know a lot of people have been asking some of the topics that we talk about. We kind of, you know, go on and continue our discussions because they're so heavy in times that you have to have more than one session to discuss it. And while this is not about race, it's about something that we did talk about on our last live stream, and that was unconscious biasness. And when I tell you why we're talking about it today, it might surprise some of you, especially if you're not a YouTube channel creator or content creator. Alicia says, I'm supposed to be back to my chores after the break. I just gave myself, but since you demand I stay, I just have to stay. That's hilarious. uh, So you are familiar, and you remember us talking about the unconscious biasness, right, Liz?
Yep, I certainly do. I had an embarrassing personal example. I don't know if you want me to repeat it or not.
No, go ahead. I mean, this is a good opportunity for you to go ahead and repeat some of that stuff.
Okay, so I'm not proud of this at all. I was ashamed of it while it was happening, but sometime after 9/11, I can't remember how long, I got on a plane going somewhere, can't even remember where, and I think I was going to Vegas to visit my sister. Anyway, I got to sit next to two guys that were Middle Eastern. And what do you think was the first thought that entered my stupid little pea brain? Oh my gosh, I'm scared. What if they blow up the plane? I mean, how ridiculous. There could have been a dozen, white bread looking people on that plane with the same intent.
Hmm.
But what do? Your mind goes straight to something like that. Even when you're not a racist personality.
Right.
I it was frustrating. Of course, it was a totally safe flight, you know, and still.
You
So
know.
if that kind of stuff happens to other people,
Hmm.
you know, I'd sure like to feel like I have some company for being that stupid.
Well, I had a friend that I worked with, and I actually not had a friend. I still have a friend, but she has since lost a ton of weight. But when she was heavier, she actually was used to tell me all the time that overweight people are the most discriminated individuals when it comes to other things outside of race. And when you were talking about unconscious, your experience, I also have to. I mean, we all have unconscious biasness. I think it's just inevitable. We all have them. Um, but it's one of those things where I used to, if I sat next to a person on the plane that was heavy set, I used to be like, oh my God, I'm going to smell some body odor, or they're going to be eating food all the time. It's just going to be one of those things where it's like, you know, I had this preconceived notion before I, when I first saw him. It was an unconscious biasness against heavy people. Hey, Rudy. Hey, Rudy, can you guys hear Liz? Liz talk. I want to make sure that your mic is moving as well because I see your indicator,
Yeah, I
Liz.
know. Yeah,
Let me just turn you up. Let me turn you up.
you heard me earlier, right?
I didn't say me. I'm talking about the people in the chat are saying that they couldn't hear you. So let me
I
just turn you up.
know, I know.
I got you up a little bit.
I'm looking frantically and I don't see
Don't
myself
change
muted
anything.
anywhere.
No, Liz, don't change anything. You're fine. Let me just see if I can do it on my end. Don't worry about changing anything.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. I hope you guys can hear her now in the chat. Hopefully,
Rudy says I'm still faint.
I just turned her up.
Okay.
Jay, hello Jay. I'm sorry, I'm Jay Namas. Good afternoon. Rudy, I don't know if I actually have. If you can hear Liz, let me know also in the chat. That's better. Okay, I turned you up, so that should be better.
I am not usually accused of not being loud enough.
All right. Oh, yeah, I know. That's why I think I had you turned down, is because I was sitting there
Yeah,
saying you kind of have a loud, boisterous voice. Let's turn you up a little bit more. Okay,
I'm afraid so.
better. Okay, sorry. So as people are coming in, let me explain to people. Please make sure you hit the like. I appreciate you guys joining. So the reason I'm bringing this up again is because you know how when you're on your phone, or you're having a conversation with your friend, your significant other, and then all of a sudden you look at your phone and it's some kind of an advertisement about the exact same thing that you were talking about. Diapers, it could be pickles, it could be something, and then your microphone is picking it up something, and then all of a sudden you're seeing things about that same conversation you had with someone, and all you did was just mention it. So it's funny that we were talking about unconscious biasness, And as soon as my name is, as sure as my name is Brian, I open up YouTube today, and I want all you channel creators to do the exact same thing. Open up your YouTube studio, and at the very top, you will see that they want you to take a survey because they are trying to determine their level of unconscious biasness with some of their algorithms that they use in order to do the things that they do. So they're wanting to be inclusive. I am going to take that survey live with you, everyone, today, so that you can see what it is that they're talking about. And to also put more layers on this, if you look up on YouTube, if is YouTube racist, is YouTube biased, there are some really large channels. When I say large, millions of subscribers large, talking about this. And I have a friend of mine who, if you guys don't know, has a channel by the name of, and I don't want to mess up the name, so I want to be 100% sure who the channel name. Give me a second. The name of his channel is Big Cam. Big Cam I am. And this channel has over 400,000 subscribers, and YouTube has demonetized him for reasons he has no idea, no clue on what it is that they're doing, except for they told him similar things that they told me. The videos that we produce don't have our input enough to change or to add value to the video.
I
Make
don't get
sense?
that.
I don't get it either. And I was very bewildered when I said that because we are all a part of a group or community where um, we see people on panel doing, what do they call it, a reaction video where they play the video and then they give you reactions
Hmm.
on it, all that kind of stuff. I've been doing the exact same thing where I have played motivational videos or other kind of videos, giving my commentary either before or at the end of it, and then using those as my premieres in order for me to garner subscribers. Exact same thing with that. I see a lot of different channels doing it, right?
Well, there is one difference. When you do that, you tend to do an intro and an outro and then play the video in between. And you
Mm-hmm.
usually don't interrupt the video.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Um, when other channels are restreaming other live streams, which you see a lot on the channels I watch, the channel owner will interrupt in the middle or talk
Mm-hmm.
over.
Mm-hmm.
And you don't do that. So the only thing I can think of is they want you to talk over your own
Well,
restreams.
Well, again, as I mentioned before, I go outside of our community constantly. I look at other big channels, channels that I want to know what their secret sauce is to be successful and get subscribers. And I do see a lot of them putting out shorts daily. That's why you see a lot of different shorts coming from Drinks and Discussions. It's because they want to get your brand out there in people's faces. Some
Yeah.
are hits, some are not. You can't. It's a hit or miss. It doesn't always work the same way that they. And I don't have any idea what the special sauce is behind YouTube's algorithms when it comes to shorts either. But I have seen a lot of people who just play a video straight through without any commentary at all, and it's not their content. Those motivational videos that I give you, and I talk before or a little bit after, those aren't videos that are created by the channel that I grabbed them from, but I grab them and there's no commentary at all on what they're doing. And
Okay.
the channel that I had mentioned before, Big Cam, he actually does the same type of things. He actually puts his face over, with using a green screen, over the video and laughing at the Karens or whatever else he's talking about. And they
Mm-hmm.
demonetized him that says that for the same thing.
Wow.
Now,
Yeah, I don't get it.
So here's the person. I'm gonna want you guys to look at this up as well. Give me a second. I'm gonna show you the guy who has millions of followers. Created this, and it was like the number one video on YouTube when he created it. Um, so the guy's name, not his video. Somebody replaying his video. I think it's Corey. Uh, action. Hold on. Is this him? I don't want to put someone else who's carried his videos. See here. Yeah, okay. So Corey, Coryx Kenshin. Corey Kenshin. This dude has 16.8 million followers.
Wow.
And he made a video saying the exact same thing that I'm telling you guys right now. Is that he went out and he saw some video and he was making a reactionary video, grabbed some content, or grabbed the content, made some commentary, and he left in the exact same thing that someone else left in, and then YouTube told him, nope, can't do that. And he's like, wait a minute, how is it possible that I can't do that? And where I grabbed it is also on YouTube. And I have also ran into this exact same issue where um, I have grabbed a video, and then even with the true crime, grabbed a video off of YouTube that shows the exact same information, exact same graphic imagery on YouTube, put it in my video, and YouTube said no, can't use it. Is that Grumpy? Drunk is here. Hey, Grumpy, how are you? And Jay Nama says, seems like YouTube is making an excuse possible in order to reduce the amount of money they pay to content creators. Possibly. That is a very good observation, Jay Anonymous, that you mentioned you made there, because I didn't see it that way. I'm just still kind of letting it marinate in my head to find out exactly what's going on. But apparently, they feel as if they need to be doing something to be more inclusive, and that's what the email or the content of the survey that they asked about today was saying. And let me tell you what it says. It says you're invited to take a survey that will help us better understand the demographic and identity information of creator and artist communities on YouTube. If you agree to take the service, we inform you your information will help provide us evaluate how algorithm systems treat content from various communities, how various communities are growing on YouTube, potential patterns of abuse, including harassment and hate, or current programs, campaigns, and offerings. Now, what I know, Paul from Discussions and the Discussion Salon, you all know Sir Paul. If you've seen his channel, he discussed, is YouTube doing enough even to curtail some of the bigotry, hatred, and disgusting things that we see that's really rearing its ugly head, are manifesting itself in our communities as of late. We've talked about a little bit about that as well, Liz.
Yeah, we have. And in Hebrew or I'm sorry, not Hebrew. Jay made a good point, but I've also got to think that you'd think that YouTube would want to encourage their content creators to put out more because they take a cut, right? So I would think they would want to encourage people instead of beating them down. But I don't know.
Well, you're in a listen. YouTube is, I don't know if it's losing advertisers, getting advertisers, or not. Give me 1 second. I'm talking to Hebrew. Post your link in Discord for me.
Yeah, I told him that too in the chat.
Okay. And hey, Spike. Um, so I don't know if they're losing advertisers or gaining advertisers, but if YouTube really wants to increase their advertisers, I would think that they need to do a better job of getting rid of the hate speech, like the racist stuff we see over at Dave's channel, and all the disgusting things that we've also seen on the doxing channel with Vegas Valley and other channels that are just, to me, bringing less advertising dollars because of their, disgusting behavior and childlike bickering
Right.
than
Right.
it would be for people who are, just talking or sharing a video that they find motivational, such as what I do, are talking about subjects that are, in current events. Those are the things that I think. But again, not everybody garners to the same types of entertainment. But at the end of the day, it's all about those advertising dollars. And I do believe that you get 70% of whatever advertising dollars come your way, and YouTube takes 30%.
Yeah, exactly. So again, I would think they would want to encourage people. One of the thing about one of the things about a lot of the channels that I watch, being drama channels, is they don't get monetized because of I think a lot of times just for the bad language alone. I don't think YouTube necessarily likes that. I could be wrong,
Mm-hmm.
but when it's as repetitive as it gets, I think people lose monetization. Um, I don't know.
Um, hey, hello, Kane Corso Mom, Lady Spike. Let me see if somebody's posting something over here in the Discord as well. Sorry, I'm trying to do multiple things here. Here we go. I'm gonna get his link here, post it over here as well. Well,
night, night bug.
but you know what? But the funny thing about it is that I'm one of the individuals that likes to um I'm the person who likes to talk about it. I'm the person that likes to engage people into these types of conversations, where they're in saying, because you have a lot of people who will say, if you're talking about this, you're race baiting, or you're talking about this because you're, bringing in some type of element that's not really there, blah 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 blah. Now, when we talked about it, I got a little bit of that feedback. Why are we talking about this? But as sure as day, after we talk about it, YouTube says, wait a minute, this must be a thing because they are asking people to participate in this survey. So there must be something going on if YouTube is saying there's enough rumblings and a lot of people bringing this to our attention that we may need to say, time out. Let's figure out what's going on here. Because I know that do you really think that you see a lot of diversity on YouTube channels, YouTube creators out there?
Me?
Yeah.
Um, well, maybe I'm not the best person to ask that question of because I have very uh, distinct tastes. So I don't venture out beyond that often. In fact, YouTube had a thing not too long ago where they came up in my feed and they asked me if I wanted to see more stuff outside of my normal, I guess you'd call it a personal algorithm, right, for my
Mm-hmm.
feed. And I said no.
Mm-hmm.
Because I like what I'm watching right now, and I barely can keep up with what I am watching. You probably spend a lot more time looking beyond than I do.
So let me just be clear, because Salacious is asking me to be a little bit more clear on what I'm saying about the YouTube situation. So what I'm saying is that I have noticed that even YouTube has noticed that there has been a lack of fairness across the board in their algorithms and their AI stuff that they look at. Case in point, when you see people like the channels that we mentioned who are still monetized and they replay videos and they talk about hate speech, and you see things like on Savage Dave who's saying all these racist things, even though he lost one channel, those channels are still not being caught in the algorithm that says, and people report it all the time, and those videos still remain up, that, this is promoting hate. And you might say, well, it's not, it's a free speech. I heard, and Mike actually came and had a conversation with me, and he said, well, isn't YouTube a free speech platform? I said, no, it's not. For all of those of you who don't know this, YouTube is owned and operated by Google. Google sets the terms and the terms of service, the things that you can say, cannot say, things you can show, things you cannot show. And if you violate those terms, you will be removed. This is a company. Hello, Janine. Welcome, Janine. And I need to have me a beer here too shortly, grumpy drunk, or a sip of something. But just a little too early. I might have some work I have to do as well. So hello. So they are keeping those channels up and monetized, but then they are taking a select few channels, including mine, and removing the monetization element. Not that I'm doing this for monetizations, because even when I was monetized, I was making like $2 a month. I mean, big deal. So unless you are like 100,000 plus or million plus followers, you're not going to be making a whole lot of money. So I don't care what any of these other dummies try to tell you when it comes to this monetization. Nobody's making $30 a month in our community that I can see. Nobody's making $30 a month, let alone trying to quit their job and making money on YouTube in order to sustain a lifestyle for themselves. So don't let them fool you when they tell you that monetization is going to change their life. It's just not. I'm not saying that it's not possible, but I'm just saying right now it's not. If you only have 1,000, 3,000, 4,000, 5,000, I don't even care if you have 10,000. I don't think it's going to make a difference until you get to where you have 50, 60, 70 or above thousands of viewers. Then you might start thinking you can make a pretty good chunk of change. But we've had Kaylee, who's a friend of our channel, and by the way, I think Olivia W. Thank you for subscribing. I don't know who Olivia W. is in the chat, but I did see that she subscribed today as well. Hey, Dick Insider, good to see you. Good to see you. It's been a long time since I've seen Dick Insider. And yes, Janine, there is a terms of service. Hey, Proby, good to see you. Don't destroy Dave's dreams of making a living off of YouTube. That's hilarious. So what was I saying? What was we talking about before all this? Where was I going with this?
Talking about monetization and how people aren't making, anything if they have the smaller number of subscribers.
Right, and we were talking about the terms of service, and people were thinking that you can just say whatever you want to say, and then feel as if no one should be reactionary to whatever it is that you say. I could sit here and say I like Guardians of the Galaxy 3. Somebody's going to react to that comment because some people might say I don't like Guardians of the Galaxy, and Drinks and Discussions was way off base with what he was saying about that movie. That's just what you're going to get if you were trying to be on YouTube and social media. People are going to disagree. It might not be a lot, but they're going to be someone who's always going to disagree with whatever it is that you said or whatever opinion you may have. And then you get the people who keep complaining and saying, and this is the one thing I keep hearing a lot lately. There's a channel I used to watch until I started thinking something's not really right with this guy. But there was this channel that he sings a lot. And I thought he was very positive. But when you start asking him about his content, like, what's going on with that video you posted? I'm not really sure I understand. There's a lot of people who want to claim that that's hate. You're hating on them or you're trolling them.
Yeah.
But when you have a platform, you got to expect somebody's going to ask you, what did you mean by that? What did you post that video that you posted? What was that about? And you shouldn't, as a creator, you shouldn't be sitting there going, why are you hating? Why you all up and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, all I did was ask you a question. People are going to ask me questions about the content that I put out there. And if I want to have subscribers, I think it's okay. for them to do that. I don't have to answer everything, but it's okay if someone says anything. I don't think they're hating if they just ask me a question about the content that we put out. What say you?
um, I think anybody that automatically thinks that just because you're asking questions or are disagreeing with what they said, that they are so insecure as maybe they shouldn't be out there
Mm-hmm.
giving their opinions. If you're sincere about engaging people, then the last thing you're going to think is that they're coming at you just because they ask a question or disagree. Okay?
Right, right. Like the first thing that I think of is not that you're attacking me. If you say, "Hey, what did you mean by that? You said this? Why are you asking me?" I don't feel like I'm being attacked. If you ask me a question, I'm just going to answer the question.
Dickens cider. I'm sorry, I'm preoccupied by Dickens cider. Um, but yeah, no, I again that level of insecurity is
Mhm.
you're misplaced either on YouTube as a whole or at least in the YouTube community that most of us are familiar with. Um,
Mhm.
and that's just my opinion, but
Well, I'm going to agree with Janine also saying you can't put something on social media and not expect an opinion, reaction, or response. And she's like us. We don't get the why people get so upset about it. If I'm on a panel, on someone else's panel, and I ask someone, why do you act this way? Or why did you say this? The first thing they want to do to me is attack me. What are you calling me a liar? What are you doing this? Why are you doing this? I'm like, wait, I just asked you a simple question. A question should not, if you are, again, confident, if you're a positive individual, when someone asks you a question, your first instinct is not to be angered. And Salacious says it thinks it's a matter of intelligence. If they don't know, they are going to receive questions, and also that they will not be able to please everyone. I would submit they are no Rhodes Scholar. I agree with that. I agree with that 100%. I don't. I don't fly off the handle. It takes a lot for me to get really, really angry. It actually takes a lot for me to kind of get angry at all. But when I get to that level of anger, that's just not a good feeling. I always feel bad after the fact, but it's never the first question I'm asked that angers me. It just takes a while for me to build up that level of, anger towards someone, especially over a question.
right, I
Your
agree.
pot roast. I'm laughing at Dick Insider too about your pot roast.
Yep. And what a Dutch oven. Is there a double entendre about Dutch ovens that I'm unaware of in my sheltered life?
Yes, and I'm not going to say that this is a family channel. I'm not going to say
Okay, later.
it. But back to what I was going to say also about YouTube, and we'll kind of go back on the topic that we're talking about. Um, Kaylee, Callie, as you like to tell me, I'm saying it wrong. Callie, who's a friend of ours, our channel, did a very good job about how you can report things that you see on YouTube, and how, especially if it violates terms of service. The thing that I have found by doing those, reporting some channels that I felt were very offensive, is that YouTube does a very poor job on following up. Because I reported a video of a grown man punching a high schooler, and that video was left up on the channel until that channel went dark.
Yeah.
Now, that is a strict violation of the terms of service. We've all seen the terms of service. If you haven't, I suggest you go in and tell. They don't like violence against children. But yet, when you report some of those things, I don't know if they take into consideration of the channel that's reporting it, the channel in which that video was on, is if they have something in their algorithm that says, I'm not going to do anything if this channel reports it. But if this channel, who has got a larger subscriber count, reports it, then they may do something. I don't
Mm.
understand that. And Jay, I tend to kind of agree with you that we are a society that has become very sensitive and judgmental. And this is not a political thing. I think this is maybe a demographic thing or a cultural thing or generational thing. I don't know what it is, but are a lot of people that cry about things that I don't think that they should be crying about. But I think people should also speak up toward things. And while I see the judgmental and the sensitivity, I also don't see a lot of people with the courage and the heart to stand up for things that they knowingly see that are, racist or wrong. And when they are called out, when people do call out the racism or the wrongness, are we starting to be a society that we are labeling that as sensitive or judgmental?
Hmm. Yeah, that's a hard question. What does the chat think?
Yeah, people, let us know. Rudy said he also reported that channel too. And again, everybody I think that I'm aware of that were opposed that video or reported it, but I don't think that anyone saw any type of remedy or resolution to having it reported. So, that's the thing. If what do you guys think? Does YouTube, I mean, if they're asking themselves if they are guilty of unconscious biasness, again, we all are. What are you guys seeing out there? What are you guys thinking about the unconscious biasness side, aspect of all this as well? Because Liz mentioned something that she, called herself as being unconsciously biased toward a group of people on an airplane. I have done it as well. I know when I see young kids, black, white, yellow, and I don't care. When I see young kids and they have baggy clothes or saggy clothes and look like they're going to be trouble, I think my unconscious biasness think that they're going to be up to no good. That's just
Yeah,
me. That's just me.
yeah,
I
yeah.
the way I was brought up and the things that have been instilled to me has made me formulate this unconscious biasness toward these group of individuals based upon the way that they look.
Yeah, me too.
Right. And we train. I mean, I know Liz is now retired. Thank you again. I know you were going to rub that into my face. But if you have a job, like if you're in well, I'm going to say every job is probably like this, not white collar, blue collar, or indifferent. You either when you start, you get a handbook and you go through this HR training, and it talks to you about things that that don't should not happen or transpire in the workplace. Everybody
Right.
gets this handbook, and for me, we do it every year. Every year, they ramp up training. You have to do either HIPAA training, compliance training, um, unconscious biasness training, sexual harassment training. They do all these trainings every year to instill that culture into the company that it's not something that's going to be tolerated. You can't sit there and say I'm not going to sit next to this person who is of this descent because either they think they're going to smell like this or they're going to act this way, they're going to talk this way. You cannot have those unconscious biasness in the workplace.
Boeing actually, for a long time now, has been doing a yearly thing where every employee has to sign an agreement
Mm-hmm.
um,
Mm-hmm.
digitally saying that they agree to all the rules. And if they violate that, they can be brought to task for it in many different ways.
Right. And I wasn't trying to laugh in the middle of your comments. I don't know if you're watching the video, but Dick Insider says every time I see
Yeah,
a guy dressed like Tiger Woods on YouTube, I think it's going to be boring. Conscious
I know.
biasness.
I laughed too.
And Dick Insider's right too. If you don't want your stuff trolled or discussed, don't bring it on YouTube. This is the thing that I don't understand ice also. When I don't understand why YouTube also allows even as far as when you go to the misogynistic stuff, from when men mistreating women, and women can be mistreating men, all this kind of stuff. I think there has to be something that should not be, that some of that stuff should not be allowed. But there are things that I just don't understand why people choose to do on YouTube. I don't look, you can, it's not against terms of service, but I don't understand when people get on YouTube and eat. When they show themselves eating a meal on YouTube, I just find that the most annoying thing I could ever think of. But
Not to mention the way some of them cook.
oh my
Yeah.
gosh. Oh.
I'm not going to mention any channel name. Uh,
Look, I'm not going to talk about that because I don't even talk about that dude. But um, there's people who just you can do whatever you want to, but as Dick Insider says, if you don't want to be trolled or discussed, don't do the things that you do on YouTube. Somebody's going to get a reaction out of it, and it's not always going to
yep.
be the reaction that you are looking for. It's not.
Yep.
Nobody
You're
wants to
cutting out,
hear
dude.
Nobody wants to hear about your personal lives, your personal relationship struggles. Nobody wants to hear about how your TV's broken or, what's going on with your children. And then I hear people all the time it's like, oh, well, you got to feel bad for the children. I don't have to feel bad for nobody's kids if I don't know you. I just don't. And I could give a rat's ass about anything else that's going on in somebody else's personal life. I'm not here for personal life. I'm here to discuss things that I want to talk about, things that my subscribers want to talk about, things that Liz wants to talk about, and we don't bring our personal life on here unless it's going to be a funny story. I mean, I'm sure I can share you some really good personal funny stories, but I'm not going to bring my personal drama. If me and my wife have a fight, I'm not going to bring it here on YouTube and discuss it with you people.
Oh, I'd love to hear about some of your fights with your wife. You can share those on Discord anytime, dude.
I'll just start it and end it by saying my wife always wins for the most part.
Good for her.
I do stand my ground sometimes, maybe sometimes. Um, but anyway, so I didn't want to belabor this. I was going to take the survey. I would like to know if you do have a channel. Rudy, I don't know if you have a channel, but Hebrew and anybody else in the chat, if you have a channel, are you going to take the survey? Did you see the survey? If you're on YouTube, in your YouTube studio, look at the very top banner. I actually talked to our friend Angel Newfound Life, and he saw it today, and he was just kind of like, wow, we were just talking about this and how it impacts. Um, oh, you forgot the B. I was like, you forgot the B. What do you think about YouTube's inclusiveness? Should they be doing more? Again, Um, I think that I see a lot of inclusive content, and I don't even know why some of the stuff pops up on my channel. I mean, in my feed. I don't know what the algorithm is. I mean, I see people, and I swear on my golf balls back there that I don't look for and do a search for women cooking with nothing but an apron on. But every day I scroll through my feed and there's some lady doing yoga, some lady cooking in an apron with nothing underneath it, and all this other stuff in my YouTube channel. And I'm like, why am I seeing this? But they have like 40, 50, 100,000 views. And I'm like, man, if you're a female, mildly attractive, and I think some of them aren't even that attractive. If you show a little skin on YouTube, you will get subscribers. And they get like hundreds and thousands of views within 2 minutes of the video posting. Proby. Proby said, so you're not coming on and posting STD results on YouTube.
Yeah,
Did
it's
somebody do that?
yes, and it's sad. It's like some people want to see YouTube as um a personal counselor or something. They put all their personal stuff out there. I guess looking for advice or support when they should be in real life getting actual, counseling if they need it. And that should and keeping it off of YouTube, that it should be enough to get real professional counseling in real life and not have to drag it out onto social media. It just it baffles me. It just does.
Listen, I understand the shock and awe, the Howard Stern-ish kind of, things, because Howard Stern is the original shock jock, right? So I know there's a lot of things that people think that YouTube, you can be shocking and people are going to like the content. But you've got to be the dumbest person on the face of this earth if you come on YouTube and talk about a sexually transmitted disease that you come in contact with. If you start talking about that, let me say, and I don't know who did it. I see people are saying somebody did it. I don't know who did it. But if you know someone who did it, they are the dumbest person on the face of this earth. Because while you think that when you end your live stream that it's over, or you may take it down because you may have regrets, I know from experience people clip all the time. And when you
Yeah.
leave that certain bit in while you continue your live stream, just to show you and take a case in point, Salacious just saying that Brian just swear on his balls, and I'm like, wait a minute, I did say golf balls, right? I didn't say my balls. I said golf balls. Um, but if by the time you finish your live stream, somebody's going to clip that and they're going to post that somewhere, and that somewhere might not be a place that you've actually been or will ever go to. But when people will, it'll travel around, and sooner or later you're going to get wind of it, and the people you didn't want it to know about it are going to know about it. Your employer may know about it. Your potential employers may know about it. It's just stupid. You've got to be the dumbest person on the face of this earth if you say or discuss any type of intimate medical details about yourself on YouTube. That's just
Yep.
stupid to me. Stupid.
Yep. I agree. 100%. I don't
And
get it.
then and then also let me tell you this. The person who did it, if it's on your channel or someone else's channel and the people around you on that channel with you didn't say, "Hey, wait, stop. Don't do that. Don't say that." They want you to fail in life. They are not there to hold you up and build you up. They are there to to help you make a fool out of yourself, and you shouldn't have them around. That's it. Because I
Yeah.
know if I start talking about something, that Liz would be like, Brian, wait a minute, let me throw my Bible at you or something, and say, back off that topic. I said the same thing to Liz. I say the same thing to most of our people, and like Paul and Veen and Vic Ferrari and Lizard Breath. We all say those types of things when someone is saying things that we may think, okay, that's a little bit going too far. Because
Yep.
that's what your friends are supposed to do. They're not supposed to pat you on the back for just being dumb.
That's right. Or they're not a friend.
Yeah, and Salacious is with me. She's like, that's the dumbest thing they've ever heard. I agree. I just can't believe it. And apparently, people are still talking about it because you know I
They
want.
are.
Yeah, that
They
see
are.
that's the thing. You do it, and then you can't cry when people are talking about your business that you put out there. And I know that this is probably related because I'm listening to Rudy's comments. The same people who were going through this little relationship drama. Don't cry
Yeah.
when people are discussing it because you put it out there in the public for everybody to discuss. YouTube isn't like, hey, let me do something and nobody should talk about it after I'm done talking about it. When I'm done talking about it, why you should bringing it up? That's not how this works. Hey,
Well, I believe in that.
sexy ass boo. Hello. Go
I,
ahead,
be,
Liz.
I believe in that case. And I could be wrong, but I believe in that particular case, it was an attempt to garner sympathy and to get people on that person's side because they want support. They want people to take their side, which again is like a bunch of kids on a playground, right? Taking
Hmm.
side. Give me a break. I don't get that either.
Yep. I but why does one want sympathy? I thought we were in a day and age where people were supposed to be strong and confident. And listen, I understand that when times get hard, you want to fall on to someone to maybe help you up in a certain instance. But don't you have personal people in your personal life to do that? YouTube is not, again, a place where you are going to get genuine sympathy for anything you do. You're going to get people who are
That's
going to
true.
troll you. And again, if people are sympathetic to your situation, personal situation, hey, here's my number. Just get off YouTube, call me. I'll see if I can help you in a personal nature. But again,
Right.
not everybody acts and does the exact same thing in the way I would. But that's just what I would do.
Yeah.
Yep. And Janine said, "As YouTube is the worst possible place to bring your real world problems, let alone your relationship issues."
That's
Yeah, but
true because for every one person that you get that's going to support you, you're going to get three people knocking you down or asking for proof
mhm,
or accusing you of lying.
mhm.
That's just the way it works.
But also, I have felt that Discord provides me an avenue or a platform where if I have met you on YouTube, I don't have to give you my phone number. I give you my Discord. We can have private chats in Discord. I don't have to give you my personal information. You don't have to give me your personal information. We can have these chats on Discord and keep it private and confidential.
Yep.
Because, and if you don't know how to set up private and confidential rooms in your Discord, let me know. I'll help you out with that as well. Because you don't have to have every area that you have on Discord open for everybody else to see or join. Squash the tomato that looked like genitalia. I don't even know what you're talking about, Rudy.
Oh, I love it. He does.
And Dick Insider says they got blistering from sexting. Back when I was younger, when you didn't have the quirky keyboard and you had to push the numbers for the text, and everybody had the thumb blisters because when you had to push each number to text, and
No,
some of these kids don't know how hard we had it growing up.
I I didn't get thumb blisters, but you're making me laugh. Hi, Lisby.
Oh, Lisby Journey, hey, good to see you. I hope everything is well in your area. Really do. Good to see you over here as well. Um, but anyway, I don't want to keep a long, you know, live stream. It's just like a spare of the moment type of thing. I may go live again and maybe have a few more other people on panel with me. Liz is in the background, but she is here. If you were just watching, Liz is talking in the background. But I want to bring this to a little bit more of a climax later on tonight because I keep hearing also other people that will also use really manipulated articles and data to even support their bigotry online as well. I've experienced these things with people who, in my opinion, are bigots that want to persuade you to believe that their bigotry is somehow normal. And that's another level of YouTube where I'm trying to distance myself away from because, again, two things that I won't compromise on the YouTube streets, and that is my morality and my character. Just not going to compromise those things. We can all let our hair down, have fun in some of the channels that we go and frequent, but there comes a time where we have to say, hey, I'm going to back off of this a little bit because I don't want to go to something that I know I wouldn't just allow in real life. I wouldn't allow someone just to continue doing this and being this egregious toward another person in real life. So that's why you don't see me a lot, even to this day. I don't go to a whole lot of channels that I used to frequent, is because I see things that I think go against what my moral character tells me is right.
Salacious brings up a good point, Brian. Did you see it? She says, from my observation of the friends of my children, that generation, is not strong and confident, and my children say that it's connected to social media. I'm gonna have to ask my kid about that. And then she further says that they are all afraid of someone hearing or someone seeing. Um, that's interesting. That's an interesting thought because I didn't grow up thinking I was being watched like that. So yeah.
Well, I kind of agree, but I think there's some context that needs to be built around that because while I agree that social media may have softened a generation because of social media and people want to be keyboard warriors and they are not getting the one-on-one type of interactions and confrontation that we used to when we were growing up. Because if you had a confrontation, it was always face to face when I was growing
Mm-hmm.
up. It wasn't
Yep.
a confrontation for somebody in a different state over social media, and we had to deal with that confrontation face to face. And I think without having that type of real world confrontation, people, when they are met with real life confrontations, they don't know how to react to it. And I think that's why you get some people who are either cower or they get too over the top and just all kind of weird. Again, that's a conversation that I have to be more in tune with my thinking on to be able to discuss it further. But I think that there is some truth to what's being said there.
Yeah. Um, it's just not something I'd thought of before, so I'm gonna have to
Hmm.
ruminate on it as well.
Hmm. I I don't like the tough act on YouTube. I don't like the guys or the women who act like they're Billy Go Gruff on social media. I find it pointless. I found doxing pointless, cowardly.
Yep. Yep.
Um, I don't, because I guarantee you, not one single person in the, and I call it, I mean, we all call it a community. The community that we kind of are in, even though I don't fit into the category of the community, but the community that we, all the channels that we watch, not one single person that I know of is going to really be that much of a bully in real life, especially if it was
Exactly.
face to face.
Yep. Excuse me. We saw. Excuse me. Wrong pipe. We saw an example of that on a particular channel not all that long ago. All the posturing that was going on online, and then when they met face to face,
Hmm.
it was a totally different story, wasn't it?
Hmm. And you're right, Janine. Everybody's pulling out a camera. As soon as something happens, people are going to not pick up their phone to call 911 for help. They're picking up a phone to record whatever egregious act is happening so that they can actually post it on their social media and somehow go viral.
Yeah, that's true.
And Dick Insider, yes, I said later on this evening, I've got some other things that I've got to do. I've got to mow. I'm actually going to be priming my brisket for smoking overnight and until tomorrow. So I'm going to be doing that tonight. And then after that, I'm going to have me one of these drinks and I'm going to go live. And I would love for anyone and everyone to join me because there's still a lot more of this that we need to talk about. I really do believe it. I think that there's a lot that we need to discuss. And then also, I'd like to know people's reactions to a lot of things too, where I still see people are entertaining individuals that are have said racist things unapologetically, and yet they are still being allowed on other people's panels. People are welcoming them, giving him advice on how to be successful on his channel. And I'm just kind of curious when we're talking about how cowardly or how people are, acting on social media that they wouldn't do in real life. Are we standing up harder for against people who are regularly bigoted, knowingly bigoted, or racist, and unapologetically? Are we doing? Are we saying as a community? We'll overlook it or we'll turn the other way and still welcome you, or are we saying get the hell out of here? Move on.
Yeah, yeah, I see both happening. Oh, give them a break. They've had it rough, and yes. A lot of them have.
Hmm.
But where do you draw a line in the sand? I'm sure that's personal for everybody, but I don't know. The cyberbullying is what bothers me the most,
Hmm.
regardless of whether it's racist or sexist or homophobic. I don't care what it is. It just makes me angry, and I want to combat it.
Hmm.
Do what I can.
Well, you've heard me say this before. I don't get angry at racists. I applaud them for showing me who they are, so I know that
Yep.
they are racist. And if you're a racist, feel free to be a racist. As long as I know that, don't be an undercover racist. Don't be an undercover bigot. As long as you tell me that you are and or show me that you are, I applaud you. But I can't be getting down with you. I can't be on panels with you. I'm not going to support you. I'm not going to even pray for you. I'm just not going to think about you. You're zero. You're lint. I have no use for you in my life. That's it. Period. So I appreciate people who are able to show their true colors because I show everyone who I am all the time. I am going to be me from the day I started YouTube to today. I have not changed who I am one single bit. I've changed some of the things that we talk about. I've changed the host a couple of times, and a bunch of other things, but I have never changed who I am.
I agree. If you can't be genuine, if you can't be yourself, um, then you shouldn't be there. I know I'm
What's
laughing
it?
at you.
What's this cat die thing? What's going on with this cat? Whose cat died?
If you want me to name names, I will.
I don't care if you name it.
Okay. Savage Dave's mother's cat died. On a live stream of his a couple nights ago. And it was painful to watch from start to finish.
Why would somebody put that on live video?
They were trying to get donations for the vet.
How stupid!
I
If
was
you don't,
willing
well, hold on. If you
to
have
share
an
money for the
animal,
vet.
what?
I was. I would. I if he had posted the vet's name,
Wait a minute.
I
You mean to tell me, Liz, that Dave, the racist, if he was posting for donations to save his pet, he's a racist. You would donate to a racist to save their pet?
well, it was his mother's pet, but yes, for the sake of the animal, I would have. Yes.
That blows my mind. I don't know why you would do
I
that.
know, yeah, I know, but I felt bad for the animal. I felt bad for his mother.
Why would you feel bad?
I
His mom and dad are probably the same people who instilled him the racist crap that he spits out on his YouTube channel. Why would you feel sad for them?
It's not the cat's fault. But
So,
yeah, I agree. No, Brian, I agree 100%. But you know what? I'm not perfect either, so I don't I don't know how to defend myself. It's just the way I felt. I wanted to
well,
help
I'm not.
people
I'm not.
out.
I'm not trying to tell you to defend yourself. It's just the whole scenario is just stupid to me. That if you have an animal and you can't afford to take care of the medical and needs of your animal, to come on YouTube and try to e-beg for people to help strangers to help you take care of your cat because you can't, is just downright disgusting to me. And then have it on video if it's suffering and put that on video. That I think is also should be against YouTube's terms of service.
Yes, you're making a point. And they did put the cat briefly on video to prove to people that it was sick. And then they wasted 2 hours trying to listen to what the advice was online instead of just getting in a car and driving to the nearest, you know, emergency vet clinic and worrying about paying for it later. So they took a lot of heat, you know, and people did want to help. And I personally am blocked on that channel, and I still
Well,
wanted to help.
well, this is the same guy. who, when he was doing this live stream to help this homeless guy, this is when I first met him. I went over there
Oh,
and
I didn't know
donated.
that.
I donated to not only the homeless guy, but I thought Dave was kind of going through hard times, so I donated to him, to their
Wow.
Cash App.
Okay.
Soon after, Dave was going over to Vegas Valley and talking negatively about me, going to Quick Vic saying stuff about me. I've never said anything negative about that dude up to that point.
Yeah,
Then
it does.
Then he started doing these, and people have talked about this, because I've heard this in other communities, including Ham Banana, who was in the chat. Thank you, Ham Banana. And had this grift about how he was going to need money on his jail thing so he can go turn himself in, and he would have money while he was incarcerated. He never even turned himself in after people donated to him for that, claiming that he still has that money just sitting there, which is still a dishonest thing to do. You misled people.
Actually, Brian, he actually admitted on that particular live stream that he has spent that $100.
Good. I'm glad you admitted that you're a piece of shit. Great. Congratulations. Again, thank you for sharing and telling people who you really are. And then he starts talking about all the racist stuff. And then he talks about all this other thing. And then he after all the things that I've done, the things that other people have donated to him, and the racist things, he has the audacity to get up on a YouTube and ask for more donations. And yet people are stupid enough to do it. Not you, Liz. I'm just saying. People are
Well,
stupid enough to do it after the track record that this person has. There are people who want to donate to this idiot. It blows my mind.
yeah, I will say that I didn't buy into the donate for the cat died, by the way. If I didn't make that clear, and on the way to the vets, and they then wanted money to cremate it,
Oh
and
God.
I was like, oh my gosh, find a nice little box and a blanket, and bury the cat like everybody else does. Now, I don't want to offend anybody out there that cremates their pets. I understand. If you do that, fine. I personally wouldn't spend that money no matter how much I love the pet. I'll spend the money to keep them alive. I'm not going to worry about their remains to that extent. But
But don't does character matter?
that's me.
Does character matter to you?
Oh, of course, 100%.
So character to me matters a lot about, if I'm going to feel generous or show some compassion or sympathy towards someone. Case in point, Witch of Heart went through the fire, and luckily everybody was unharmed and nothing really serious other than the damage to the home and some of their material things.
Right.
I believed her like that. There are some people who were despicable and wanted to try to discredit her. But because we know her and we've had conversations with her, not one moment did I sit there and go, this is a grift. This is something somebody's being dishonest about. If you have a person like Dave who has shown time and time and time again, he is not an honest individual, he's a racist individual, why would anyone feel sorry for or try to donate to him based upon his character?
Um,
Help me,
if
somebody
I
please make it make sense.
if I personally didn't have sympathy for the situation, I guess all I can tell you is I would have felt that I was being no better than him. So, and I also have a soft spot for animals, like many of us do. So
Mm-hmm.
to me, it was taking the high road, rising above, turning the other cheek. You can call it a million different things, but that's where I was coming from.
Well, I do know, and listen, I'm not trying to discourage people from, if you have somebody that you are friendly with, cordial with, and you think that they are great. If you think Dave's great, donate it. Look, I don't care what you do. It just boggles my mind from the things that I see. Personally, I think it would be completely idiotic to give him a dime. But there are times where people are going to go through hardships. That's why I brought up the Witch of Heart. There are times where people are going to, say,
Yeah.
hey, something out of my control happened. I was not prepared for this. Um, and there are a lot of people who set up GoFundMe pages and all that kind of stuff. But here's the kicker. What I've noticed with charity and people who organize GoFundMe pages, it's not the person that's going through the hardship that does it. It's the stranger who walked up and said, "Hey, I met this homeless person who is a homeless vet. Let's start a GoFundMe page to help them." It's the neighbor down the
Yeah.
street whose family just had a loss and they are trying to get some donations to help out that person. It's never the person going through the hardship that is genuine that's going to ask for it. It's like we did when Paul and Bean and everybody heard about Witch. It wasn't witches that said, "Hey, donate to me." It was people around her that said, "Hey, let's do something for Witch to help her out." So there's a difference between people who are genuinely in hardship and want people to kind of show some compassion, as opposed to people who are grifters that are only looking for a handout because they're too lazy to go out and get it on their own. That's where I'm
I'm
seeing the
sorry.
difference.
Dick is killing me today. I'm
Okay,
sorry.
fine. That's all that. So that's, but I mean, I'm not trying to make this all about, Dave or anything. It's just people really have to understand that they have to be careful about how people scam them.
Yes.
And that's what that
Yes.
is. You can use all the words you want to use, grifting, crowdfunding, or whatever. But this is a scam, folks. This is a scam. There, he's trying to play on people's compassions, especially, and no offense to Liz, older people tend to have more compassion than younger people, especially when it comes to loss of life. If it's animal or sick person, that compassion comes out. But you have to can protect yourself from being vulnerable to these types of scams.
Well, exactly. And that's one of the reasons why I said very clearly I would be happy to donate if you post the vet's name and phone number. A phone call to the vet, and you find out whether or not the whole thing is legit, right?
Right.
So there you go. It's a form of self protection, but being able to feel like you could help out as well. I
Uh-huh.
wasn't about to send money directly, but I'll do the same thing with the panhandler on the side of the road. I'll take him food, but I won't hand him money. I have a kid
Uh-huh.
brother who's a drug addict that
Uh-huh.
panhandles,
Yeah.
and
Uh-huh.
he'll get on his phone and text me and tell me that some poor lady just handed him $100, and I'm
Uh-huh.
like, dude, what is wrong with you? I know the drug addiction is strong, but
Uh-huh.
how? I know how my brother was raised. How do you treat people like that and live with yourself? How?
There are some really funny comments over here, by the way, in the chat. I'm sorry, they're just
I know.
there's a lot of funny ones. Um, I also have an older brother who's also addicted to drugs, and I was the same thing. He would call me and say, "Brian, I'm going to stay at this motel or this hotel. Can you send me this money?" I told him, I said, "No. Tell me where place you're going to stay. I will call them, and I will actually pay for your room to them instead of giving you the money." He went off on me. "You don't trust me, blah 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 blah." I was like, "Damn right, I don't trust you." So
Right.
if anybody is really wanting your help to do something legitimate, and you say, "Hey, give us the number of the vet. We'll crowdfund you, and if everybody wants to donate $5, $10, whatever they can, we'll send that money to the vet. Make sure the bill is paid for, and then you take your cat to get it done."
Yeah.
Scammers will, people who are legitimate will go, "Yeah, that's a great idea." Scammers will go, "No, just send it to me, and you gotta trust me on my Cash App or whatever." I'm like, nobody's gonna trust you to do something responsible when all we have seen since we've seen that person on YouTube is to be irresponsible.
Right. 100%. Um, Lizard Breath is in the chat, and she brings up a point. that her vet actually has a separate fund set up to help those that need it. I bet he's not the only one.
Oh yeah.
Um, you know, it's it's sad that the scammers ruin it for the people with legitimate needs. I won't give money to panhandlers anymore,
Hmm.
any of them. And some of them are legitimately in need for reasons beyond their control,
You know,
but I can't tell which ones.
hey Ving, how are you, Ving? Ving, we're in the general section on Discord if you want to join, and also Lizard Breath if you want to join in the general Drinks and Discussions on Discord. Sexy As Boo had a really good comment. Oh, an amateur aquatic addiction. Hello to you. Sexy As Boo has
Yep.
said she will buy food, will not give money. She's a recovering addict, and she knows how it goes. I had to learn the hard way with my brother. And
I did too.
there's people like Joey. When I mentioned my identity was stolen by my older brother, I've lived with him abusing women. He has my nieces and nephews. He mistreated them, and he was older than me, and he was addicted since the age of 17. And even when I became old enough to understand addiction, I always wasn't always this, nice guy about it. I would get confrontational to him for a long time until I understood that I wasn't really helping him. So then when he started asking me for money, I would give him the money. Just sit there. And then me and my cousin, who was like my mentor, would always say the exact same thing that Sexy As Boo was saying. Don't give them the money, give them the food. And if they're really hungry, they'll take the food. If they only want it, so the money, so they can go out and re-offend with the addiction that they're trying to be clean for them, then don't give them money because that's what they're going to do.
Exactly. 100%.
Mm-hmm.
And it's the same thing with how many of you have gone through a drive-through fast food place and you put in your order and the person on the other end says, do you want to donate to such and such charity today to add to your bill? And I say the same thing every time. If I don't know the charity, no,
Right.
because I'm not going to donate even to a charity until I know more about them. How much of their money goes to the actual people that need it? Are they
Well,
paying their CEO 150,000 or 200,000 a year salary?
mhm.
It depends on the charity.
Well, and again, if you've seen and followed Drinks and Discussions, people also know that my profession is cybersecurity. That's what I do. That's my career. So we do a lot of training about how to look for phishing scams, how to look for,
Mm-hmm.
all these types of things that are going to try to get you to give people your information. We send out simulations to companies in order for them to test their organization's susceptibility
Yep.
to fall for these scams. YouTube
Yep.
is the exact same way, and I've said this before in videos. You have to be smart enough to understand if it looks and smells like a scam, it generally is. And people are using these videos and say, hit my cash app or whatever else they're doing.
Right.
We are here not as I don't ask for cash apps even when I was monetized. I'm not asking people for giving me donations. And I know they're great, they're generous. If you can do it, fine. But when you are sitting there and this is what all you're doing is having your hand out and having people without a job, without a place of your own, without contributing to society in a positive way, but you want to sit around on Facebook and social media and with your hand out, you lose my respect. You can do it. I'm not saying don't do it, but I just typically am the kind of guy that just says I don't have respect for people like that. I don't want you around me. You provide no value to me. I like people who are going to stimulate me mentally, stimulate me in some type of way to where, I can enjoy your company. People like that do not provide value to me. Is that wrong,
Mm-hmm.
right? Or is that wrong or right? I don't know. What do you guys think about that? Liz?
Reading the chat.
Do you think that that's about value? Do you think people need to provide some type of value in order for you to You know, because I know you and I are a little bit different things, like you said earlier, about what we watch and find entertaining on YouTube. But do you find yourself at times thinking that, this is not entertaining? This is not what I am signed up for here on YouTube? Oh,
Well,
yeah.
when it comes to YouTube, I mean, you don't like something, click off it. I mean,
Hmm.
it
Hmm.
couldn't be more simple, right?
Right. That's right. But doesn't mean just because you don't like it, you can't also not talk about it. See, that's where I'd say that there's some difference there. Yes, if I don't like your channel, I won't go on your channel. Period. I just won't. If somebody else shows me a clip or view, or I see somebody else replaying it with their commentary, like Cameron Banana will do, and I see something that says, "God, this is so stupid," and just in case in point, who said this? Sexy as Boo was saying, if you make an Amazon wish list asking for a big screen TV, I might not watch your channel, but I'm gonna call you an idiot for saying that you put an Amazon wish list for a big screen TV on YouTube. That shows
Yeah,
me that you have little to no self-respect, that you are willing to do just about anything, and you are desperate in order to make a name for yourself or to, you know, have some kind of agenda on YouTube. That's, to me, it's just stupid. It's just dumb. Why would you ask for a big screen TV on YouTube? What? What?
it's taken the easy way out. If it were me, I'd go to the closest Goodwill and see what I could find for as cheap as I could find it before I go begging to strangers online.
Right.
Right?
Right. And listen,
No, I
and I also get this. If you've got nobody in your life, no genuine, real human interactions in your personal life, and all you have is YouTube friends, there are people I know that you look to YouTube to fill those voids. I get that. But these YouTube friends are not the people who are going to be saying, hand me money, give me free stuff, give me freebies. People work hard for the things that they get and provide for their families and friends. And if you have it and you want to be generous to someone, more power to you. You have a great heart for the person who's donating or providing what someone is asking for. But it's the people still begging that I still have zero respect for, because this is not something that you publicize, in my opinion. You don't. Again, we have Discord. You can have private channels. I might reach out and say, hey, Liz, here, I know you need money for your latte today. Don't say nothing, but take this money. But take this money. You don't have to ask, but here it is for you. But that's just the way it is. I don't want our, especially, well, in Christmas time, we promoted the stuff for the homeless shelter we did with Marcus and I. We promoted that because we wanted people to help us with those donations, so we publicized it. There are a lot of things that people would like to do to help other people that I don't necessarily think should be publicized. And if you need help because you're, whatever's going on in your life, personally, I just, YouTube, really? YouTube? It's just hard for me to get my head around that. Hard for me to understand.
exactly. And again, if you can't afford to cremate your animal, I get you loved your animal. If you can't afford to cremate it, bury it. Bury
Mm.
it. I'm sorry. Is you make do. Sexy ass Boo says, my dad always said, if you can't afford it, start saving or go without.
Right.
Bingo.
Mm-hmm. Listen, I tell my son that he's 5. He has this Nintendo Switch, and he's been asking me for this game that's cost $60. And all the other games that he's got on there, he has not finished the levels and finished the games and all that kind of stuff. And we give him money, and he has this real piggy bank. It's a pig in his room. He puts money in there. And he's even smart enough to know, hey, Dad, I've saved this amount of money to help you pay for the game that I want.
Yeah,
We don't
that's
take
great.
we don't take his money, but he understands. He has to, if he really wants something, and we've already provided him other things, if he wants something outside of that, that he has to, or he'll go in there and he'll take the big vacuum cleaner and act like he's going to vacuum and help his mom clean up around here. And I'm like, that's the character that which we instill in him at an early age. Parents should be doing that at an early age. Not just saying that you're going to get whatever you want just because you ask for it. You have to have some type of responsibility to get and earn what you are wanting out of life.
Yep. Yep. And again, if you can't afford it, you make do and you live with what you got.
Right.
It's not going to kill you,
Yep, yep.
right?
That's right. And that's another comment, and I don't know who dementia patient Quick Vic is, but hello. Um, Spike is in the building. Hello. She was saying too that you can sell things if you need money. If you've got an RC cars, if you've got some things that may have little to some monetary value, sell those things in order to pay for the things that those unexpected events. Hell, go
Yep.
to your bank. Go to the bank. Ask for a small business loan or a small personal loan. Go to the pawn shop, sell something. Look, I know a guy, this is going to be funny. I know a guy who I heard a story from a guy who talked about he wanted some rocks or some crack and he did some unmentionable things in the back seat of a car. If you want the money that bad, go do that too. I'm not going to judge you, but go ahead, go do it. You know what I'm talking about, though, right?
Yeah. No comment.
Nobody's going to no shame in your game if you got to do that in the back seat of a Ford Focus. Go ahead, knock it out.
Do they still make Ford Focuses?
I have no idea. That was the first thing that came up in my mind when I said that. So, well, anyway, thank you everybody for watching. I really didn't even mean to go this long with this. We kind of got a little bit off of the YouTube, trying to be a little bit more inclusive. But I still enjoyed the conversation with all of you. Thank you again for joining. Liz, of course, you know you are my favorite. Thank you for joining me and keeping me entertained and
It's a
helping me here.
pleasure.
And I'm going to try again today after I finish doing the lawn and making dinner and going to the store and a bunch of other stuff. I'm still going to try to go live again. Dick Insider asked me if Paul or Vic Ferrari are going to join me later on tonight. Vic is doing some personal things. I'm not sure if he's going to be available. That's why he didn't join us this afternoon. He may be available this evening. I'll reach out and let him know or ask him, and I'll let you guys know if that's going to happen. But if I can get him, I'll probably will go live. If we can't get more people to come up on panel, I probably won't go live because I know you guys are tired of just looking at me. But if we can get more people to join me, and if you want to be a part of our Discord, please drop a line in the comment section. We'll put a link out there to our Discord if we know who you are and seen you around. We don't accept everyone until we get to know you. Then we'll bring you onto our Discord. And if you would like to be on panel, you don't have to show your face. But if you just want to be on panel and have a conversation with us, I would love it. So please join our Discord if you would like. And I really, again, I want to say thank you guys for joining me tonight or this afternoon for this spare the moment impromptu live stream. Liz, any parting words?
Nope. I think I've spouted off enough for this afternoon. People are probably sick of listening to me.
Well, I am not, and I appreciate you again. Janine, Salacious, Dick and Cider, Rudy, Ham Banana, who else is out there? Sexy Ass Boo, Spike, and Lizard Breath, Veen. I think I've mentioned just about everybody, but if I didn't, I apologize. I am thankful for all of you watching again today.
Kane,
Be
King Corso.
King Corso Mom, Amateur Aquatics Addiction. Thank
Yep.
you for joining us. I also want to tell people to just make sure that everybody treats each other with fairness. We all have differences of opinions. We could still be respectful of our differences of opinions and of each other. So try your best if you can throughout the day. You will not see me this weekend, of course, because I don't come on YouTube on the weekends, but I will probably be on later tonight. But if you have any ideas that you would like to discuss with us together, drop us a line on Discord. My email is also on the Drinks and Discussions channel. Leave a comment. Love to have more stimulating conversations and including you all at some point in time as well. So, with that, I'm Brian. She's Liz. We're Drinks and Discussions, and we will see you next time.
Thanks, guys.